All right, so let's talk about, what does a pending order mean here? All right, so this is kind of what Sanjay is trying to solve here, is what is a pending order? And, how does an order get into a pending state? Right, so let's talk, we'll talk some terminology here. There, so let's get BlackBird open. And so I'm going to need to create some orders here to kind of illustrate what the different order types, what different order types there are. So, all right, let me just do something simple here. All right, so I just created basically a simple order set, so that way on the order monitor panel, right, I'll have some orders that we can look at, and we can look and I can illustrate the different states here. All right, so I'm taking a little step back before going into what is a pending order first. So let's see. All right, so let me, I'll go long here. Okay, and so I want to draw your attention over here to the order monitor panel here where my mouse is, right? So let's kind of cover the different states here, right? Actually, let me back up here a little bit. Let me take a step back. Close that. Let's see. Let me go long now. Let me pull this limit order out of the way here. All right, so let's look at the limit order here, right? So when a limit order is live, and of course this isn't truly live. I'm running on sim, but this is simulating live. So when an order is live, right, NinjaTrader says it's working. It's in a working state here. So let's go also to the orders tab. So on my control center, if I go to my orders tab, right, there we go. The state of this entry order is in a working state, right? So what does that mean in NinjaTrader? So that just means that your order has been accepted by your broker and by the exchange, and it is waiting to get filled, right? So it's a live order waiting to get filled, right? Now, of course, this is a live order, but on the sim account. So when I mean live, I don't literally mean live doesn't mean it's a cash, it's in your cash account. It just means it's live in some of the accounts. In some account, it could be a sim account, or it could be a live, or it could be a real money account, right? So live doesn't mean real money or sim. It just means it's. So there's the first terminology that that we should understand. There is what a working state means here. So now let me get this filled. Let's pull this up here. And is that market going to pull back a tick? No, it's just going to take off. There we go. Okay, now it's filled. All right, so now let's look at the profit target, right? So we can see over here the profit target goes into a working state as well. So in other words, it's waiting, right? So our profit target, it's a live order at the exchange waiting to get filled because it's in a working state. And then on the other hand, I don't know why this is, but NinjaTrader decided that stop losses go into a accepted state, right? So if you have a stop loss, when you see accepted, that means that kind of as the name implies, your stop order has been accepted, by your broker and by the exchange, and it's waiting to get filled. So basically, the profit target and stop loss, they're both in the same kind of state here. Whether so profit targets go into a working state, stop losses go into an accepted state, and they're both just waiting. So they're live at the exchange, and they're just waiting to get filled. One or the other get filled here. So those are the So those are the two states that NinjaTrader has: working and accepted here. And let's actually do. Let me do a little test here. Let's change I'm going to change my entry order from a limit to a stop entry order. And let's see, let me go short and move this down here. And, okay. That explains it. So my stop entry also goes into an accepted state. So there you go. So we I just kind of put 2 and 2 together here. So stop orders within NinjaTrader go into an accepted state here, right? So we can see also on the control center, this stop entry order went into an accepted state. So stop orders go into an accepted state. Limit orders go into a working state there. And that just means that they're live at the exchange waiting to get filled, right? All right, let's close that. So now with BlackBird has kind of created this secondary state for orders, and it's called pending, right? So this pending state here, it's not an official state. So let's simulate this here. So what could cause an order to go into a pending state? Well, it's the place after condition here. So if you're using the place after, what the place after does is it tells NinjaTrader that there needs to be a secondary condition that needs to occur before BlackBird's allowed to submit the order. So I'm going to just do something real simple and easy to understand. So I'm going to put a delay of 5 bars, right? So what does this mean? So when this order gets submitted, let me see, I'm going to switch it back to a limit order here, and also let me put a big offset so we know that this limit order is not going to get filled right away. So when this entry order gets submitted, when this entry order, submitted is not the right word. When BlackBird is told to execute, when BlackBird is told to submit this order, what BlackBird's going to do is it's going to look at the place after and go, oh, I have some conditions here. And it says, oh, there's a delay of 5 bars. So BlackBird goes, oh, okay. So I was told to submit this entry order, but I need to wait 5 bars before I can submit this entry order. And so that puts that entry order into a pending state while BlackBird is waiting for 5 bars to go by, right? So that is how pending orders came about, is this place after secondary condition here. So let's see if we can, let's get a demonstration here. So let's go long and perfect, right? So you can see right here, this entry order went into a pending state. So I told BlackBird, submit a long order, and then BlackBird goes, oh, okay. So it's submitting this long order, but then it sees the place after and goes, okay, well, I got to wait 5 bars before I can submit that order. So this pending is telling you that BlackBird wants to submit a long order, but it's having to wait for this place after condition to become true. So it needs to wait for this, So whatever your place after is, so there could be a lot of things here. So let me build something kind of practical here. So obviously nobody would just want to wait 5 bars. It's a little impractical. So let me put this back on none. So there, I'm going to turn the place after off, places immediately. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another order set here, right? And so the typical use for the place after, right, is to create essentially kind of scale-in orders here. And so you can tell BlackBird something like, let's use the profit or loss here. And so let's say you want to cost average into a trade, right? So if your trade goes in, starts losing, let's say $50 there, like so, then have BlackBird submit, let's see, I'll submit a market order this time. We'll have BlackBird submit a market order if your trade has a drawdown, of $50 there, something like that. Right. And so when you execute, a trade, right, your order A it'll get submitted live. Because remember, I turned the place after off. So order A will get submitted live, but then order B will go into a pending state because order B is waiting for this, $50 loss. And so in other words, so order set A has to get filled, right? So you have to be in a position, you have to have a position open first, right? Obviously before you can get a $50 loss. So order A would have to be filled, and then BlackBird can monitor, well, is this current position, did it hit a $50 loss? And if it does, then BlackBird will submit order B as a market order here, right? So let me reduce this, get rid of this offset here, so that way, there. So we just have a simple limit entry order and a market entry. And so with that, let's see what that's going to look like here. So let's close this out. And all right, so I hit the close button there to remove this pending order state. Although actually it probably, it looks like it might have, I think when I was talking, this pending entry order, the 5 bars had gone by, I think, while I was talking, and it probably got submitted there. So anyways, so let's see what happens now. So let's go long. All right, so there we go. So we can see here in order A, right, we have a working profit target and an accepted stop loss. But order B is in a pending state, right? Because order B is looking over here. So let me switch this over to currency, right? So if you click on the display here, you can see it toggles. It goes from ticks to currency to percentage for your profit and loss there, right? So let me put it on currency, right? So we're at a $10, $15 win there. So let's pull the market down a little bit so that way we can generate a loss. Let's see, so I think, let me kind of guesstimate here. Probably a $50 loss is probably somewhere down here. There we go, there's a $5 and a $15, we're getting down there. So once a $50 loss is hit, then order B will go from a pending state into into an executed state. And bingo, there we go. So it just got executed right there while I was talking, right? So, and of course, market orders, market orders basically never go into a working order or a working state, right? Market orders basically just get accepted, or execute, or filled, I should say, filled. Yeah, market orders get filled right away. So a market order never goes into a working state or an accepted state. It just basically, market orders go right into a filled state. So, Sanjay, there you go. Basically, that is what is going on there. Is you have an entry order with the placement after it enabled, and so you've got some order waiting for some kind of secondary condition before the order gets submitted, right? And of course, BlackBird BlackBird will keep your order in a pending state indefinitely. BlackBird, isn't going to decide on its own when it should cancel that pending order, right? You need to tell BlackBird when to cancel that pending order. It's not up to BlackBird to determine when to cancel it. You need to figure out when an order should be canceled. If your place after condition never comes true, then you need to figure out, okay, when should I cancel that pending order so that other trades can take place? And that's what the cancel after is for, right? So whenever you're using the place after, you also need to use the cancel after as well. So, and of course, there's lots of different options here. You could just simply say, you can have a combination thing. You can say, look, if 15 bars go by, then cancel that order. You could do something like, I don't know. I'm not sure if you're using Bloodhound there, but you could say, if Bloodhound, if I get a signal from Bloodhound, then some kind of special signal from Bloodhound, then cancel this pending order. You could look at an indicator condition. You could look at some kind of indicator value or compare price to an indicator. Like maybe, you could do something like here. Let me get rid of that. All right. So far, I have. Let's see. We'll cancel the order after 15 bars. Or we could compare, price to some kind of indicator. Like maybe you could say if the close of the bar crosses some kind of moving average in the wrong direction, then that's also an indication that I should just cancel this pending order. Trade's no longer valid, right? So you can use all these various conditions here, triggering conditions, to cancel that pending order there. Yeah, I think that basically sums up what a pending order state is. It's not that complex. It just to really simply summarize, if you see a pending order, it just means that you're using the place after option here. And you also need to use a cancel after as well. So let's see. The other thing that would cancel, one last thing. There is one thing that would cancel a pending order is if you're using trade signals. So let's say you're using Bloodhound to make an auto trader, right? So if you're using Bloodhound, and let's say Bloodhound generates a long signal. So you've got these orders going long, and so you have order B in a long pending state. Well, if Bloodhound generates a short signal to reverse the trade, then that will cancel a pending long order, obviously, right? So if you get a trade signal in the opposite direction of your pending order, obviously that pending order needs to get canceled so that BlackBird can reverse the position, and take in the opposite direction.